Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic involving violence, assault, and loss of life. We've removed any graphic or descriptive content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. The aim of this video is to provide informative, factual journalism on tragic events in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips shown are under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis, and some points made in this video are simply opinions and theories. I'm not responsible for third-party information, and this video is being made purely for artistic, educational, documentary, and scientific purposes. Crapmore gang, I'm going to do something very dangerous in this video. I told you earlier in a video I uploaded earlier today that a lot of the Epstein files are being scrubbed from the internet. A lot of files have been taken down. A lot of files are going missing, especially video files. And if you saw the video I did earlier, I explained that there is a guy that's been backing up the video files that disappeared from Reddit. He shut down his backups and he said he was in a whole lot of trouble. So I'm going to be brave in this video. And I'm going to share with you some of the most disturbing videos that I've seen in the Epstein files. This is a part 2 of a previous video I did about Epstein's most disturbing home videos, okay? And I'm not making light of the situation. There is a lot of disturbing stuff in these files. And unfortunately, because a lot of it is being deleted and taken down, even though this is a risky thing to do, we're going to preserve some of these disturbing videos. I'm going to react to some of those in this video. And I've downloaded a few of them. And I'm basically just going to break it down to you in this video, okay? So, you know, let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's hope things work out. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Because this is definitely getting crazy. A lot of these files are going missing, and I don't know if some of these videos that I'm going to show you in this video might go missing. They might have already gone missing, okay? Because I've downloaded a few of these, and we're just going to have to rock out. We're just going to rock out with it, okay? So I'm going to show you some very disturbing photos, videos, and even audio recordings that have been uncovered in the recent release of the Epstein files, which have been getting scrubbed quite extensively. And who knows, they might be completely gone soon. They might be completely gone soon. Who knows? By the time you're watching this, who knows? They could all be gone. It is very, very scary, okay? So the first thing that I want to show you in these files, I'm going to show you here. So this is an audio file, okay? And this is very, very unsettling. Now, some of the stuff I'm going to show you here might not really make sense out of context, but I'm going to explain to you, okay? So given the terrifying nature of Epstein's crimes, okay, some of these recordings just are very, very dark. This is an isolated audio of somebody singing happy birthday, but the way that it sounds very creepy and very unsettling, and it makes you wonder, why were these things being recorded? How much was being recorded? You know, they talked about hidden cameras, maybe they were hidden audio devices, but this is just one of many kind of very unsettling things from the files that maybe doesn't make sense, but there could be some very dark things behind it. So let's hear it. We'll listen to it together and you tell me what you guys think. Oh, I thought maybe they got to me for a second. Here we go. So I don't know if that's a kid singing happy birthday to an adult. I don't know if that was sent to Epstein. I don't know if he sent that to somebody else, but it's really, really unsettling. And it just goes to show you like, I'll be real. What the fuck did this guy have going on in his inbox? These things being in the files, maybe the FBI knows what this is about. Maybe they're absolutely stumped just like we are. Okay. But it is actually so dark. Now, this is a file that's been going around for a while, okay? And this one is actually quite disturbing too. Okay? This is basically a video that's been kind of shared extensively, and it's very, very weird. We've seen a lot of videos of Epstein hanging around with different people's families, different people's kids, not necessarily in a context of what was going on as far as the goes, okay? But this is kind of quite an infamous clip that's been going around. So it is censored, it's redacted, you don't actually see the person. But this is Epstein, like he's in a pool. He's with a kid in a pool. Why is this happening and why is this being recorded? It's so dark. It just makes you wonder, like, how did it get to this point? How did people allow stuff like this to happen? This guy went unchecked for decades. And the fact that this is all now coming out in the files now is just twisted, okay? It's just a 9-second clip, all right? Listen to the music. That file was in the Epstein files. It was with that music. I didn't add that music to it. It's like a cinematic score. And it makes you wonder, is this something that he was sending to other people? Is this something that he was sending around like, hey, look at me, this is what I have going on? That's definitely like, that's not the average home movie. You know what I'm saying? It is actually fucked up. So there's a lot of really weird kind of calls. There's a lot of really weird little rendezvous that are included in here that are very messed up. In this one, it's like a recorded phone call, and what it weirdly sounds like in this one, and this really goes to show you just how like his network of deceit and recruitment actually was. Because in this video, it sounds like this audio, it's a recorded phone call. And it makes you wonder, why were you recording these calls? Because it sounds like this call is incriminating to me. It sounds like a girl is basically being trained on how to actually recruit other people for these massages that Epstein was getting. And what's so fucked up about this is that a lot of people have been given victim status because they started out as victims, but then they ended up becoming part of the enterprise that he had going on. And what's super messed up is it blurs the lines between, well, you can start off as a victim, but once you actually become complicit in what's going on, once you start recruiting other people into this network, are you not as bad as the man himself? I don't know whether I feel like I can still have some sympathy for those people. I'm pretty sure Virginia Giuffre, when she talked about her experiences, she did actually touch on the possibility that basically she started off being sucked into this network when she was young. She got a little bit older. She started being part of the conspiracy to go and bring other people in. I'm pretty sure that she actually had testimony where she said she actually brought other people in because she was hoping that that would kind of take the heat off of her, and it's very messed up. But the fact that these calls are being recorded, I don't know if this is recorded by the FBI, if it was a tap call, whether he recorded this, whether this is some kind of sick training thing that he recorded. But this is basically, it's like a recruitment tool. It's very, very odd. It's very dark.
Second phone call attempt at 4:26 p.m. Hello? Hey, what's up? I talked to Jeffrey, and I'm going to his house tomorrow morning, and I'm taking my son. He's gonna set something up for you now.
How screwed up is that, right? Talking about, okay, I'm going to Jeffrey's house tomorrow and I'm taking, the name's Redacted, it's like I'm taking blank. Just how normalized was this behavior? Just how fucked up this whole enterprise that he had. This is all, like, this guy should have been buried under the jail. I mean, he kind of got what he deserved in the end, but it really wasn't true justice. But this was completely normalized, that these calls, I would like to think, and I would hope to think that this is a call that was intercepted by the FBI. But the casuality that people are just talking about, yeah, I'm going to Jeffrey's house, I'm bringing this person, I'm going to set them up for that. It's actually despicable.
Well, like, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow morning when I go to his house about it.
How much, like, would I get paid? Cause last time,
Talk to him. I'll talk.
Now, it's weird, right? There's some interference there. She says, well, how much will I get paid? Because last time, and then it goes blank. It's fucked up, right?
Tomorrow, and then I'll bring you in the next day and talk to him about it.
how much do you think? Like, I don't know what I want to do, and I just want to get some ideas.
I don't know. You're going to have to talk to him about it. I mean, I don't really work for him like that. I just bring girls to him, and they work for him, so.
That is so screwed up, right? She says, well, I need to know, like, I need to know how much. And he says, I don't know. I don't even work for him like that. I just bring girls to him. I mean, that sounds like a co-conspirator to me. And it's crazy to think, right, that we've been told over and over again, there was no client list. There was no conspiracy. Sounds like a conspiracy to me. You've got somebody that's literally recorded on the phone talking about, well, I just bring him girls. You're going to have to talk to him. This is a recruiter. This is a recruitment call.
You're going to have to talk to him about it. That's what I'm saying. When you work for him, I'll bring you in and you can ask him before you work. So, like, what can I do to make more money?
Yeah, well, like, if I don't know what you do, you get paid more money.
The more you do, the more you get paid.
That's so twisted. If you heard that, she said, the more you do, the more you get paid. It's weird, right? Because the phone, it's like, it seems to break up whenever the other girl talks. But she's trying to say, well, I need to know how much. I need to know what I got to do. And whoever this recruiter is, you definitely got some questions for them. But they're saying, well, the more you do, the more you get paid. That's screwed.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't know. Talk to him about it.
Want me to bring my sister for you, so like you could get paid more or something, or how much
Well,
a girl?
yeah,
would-
well, that's what I'm saying.
That is so screwed. She says, I'm pretty sure she just said, do you want me to bring my sisters? Like, the more we can get paid, like if we can get paid for more people. So there's this whole web of recruitment going on. And all of these people kind of need to answer for this. Maybe the FBI have already interviewed them, but this is what was going on for everybody that says, well, there was no proof. Oh, it's just emails. There's still people defending this that are saying like, oh, well, it's just emails. There's not really proof of anything. It's super screwed up and there's code words. No, this is perfect example. Exhibit A, criminal enterprise. Other people are involved.
And I'm working tomorrow, and me and him are going to put a schedule together for you and your sister. So I'll call you tomorrow when I leave Jeffrey with the schedule.
Alright, okay. Alright, that's good. That sounds good. But, like, I don't have my phone all the time, so if you guys called me, I'd have to know what time so I could get the phone.
Okay, well, what time? Well, why don't you? Okay, I'll leave you a message. That's fine. I'll leave you a message tomorrow.
I'm not going to lie, like the way that this girl's even talking to the other girl, it's like, it's very aggressive. It's kind of nasty. It's not, I mean, obviously, right? Because she's working in this disgusting criminal enterprise to bring people in. But she's saying, look, I don't have access to the phone. I need to know when you're calling me. And she's just like, oh, okay, fine. I'll leave you a message. Like, it's whoever this person is talking. I do think we need answers from just, even just the way they're talking, super disrespectful. These are the people that he had working for him. And this just like awful, disgusting attitude that just minimized victims as people. It was at every level of the enterprise. People want to talk about, oh, it was just him, it was just him, it was just Elaine. Like, it is absolute.
All right, bye.
She just hung up on me. She said she doesn't work here.
That's fine. That's fine. You did great. Give me a high five. Yeah, that was good. Because she was throwing. She threw you. A tough girl. Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know who that is in the background. I don't know if that's Jeffrey himself. That doesn't actually sound like him to me. It sounds like they're almost high-fiving, like it's a training call that was being recorded. And he's like, yeah, you did great. I'm going to hear that last bit again because that's actually talking like that, like you did great.
That's fine. That's fine. You did great. Give me a high five. Yeah, that was good. Because she was throwing.
Literally, they high-fived, said, you did great. Give me a high five. That's fucking.
Yeah, she threw you. Tough girl. Yeah.
Wow. Whoever that is, I don't think that's him. But it said, yeah, she threw you. That was a tough girl. Like, this is a whole enterprise. You need to know who every single person on this phone call was. You know, they're literally doing a training manual. And they literally said, give me a high five. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
You know, you did really. That freaked you out. Because she's like, well, I'm setting up a schedule for you and your sister.
Setting up a schedule
with him.
And what did she say that freaked you out? And then she said, oh, setting up a schedule with your sister. And then that's the end of the call. Right. Obviously, there's co-conspirators. You just heard them, right? You just heard them. I don't know who those people were, but you just heard them. It's right there. Okay. So if anyone's saying that's not the case, ridiculous. Okay. So I'm going to show you some other stuff from these files now that have been released. Now, interesting, if you follow my channel for a while, right, you'll know that I covered the David case and that there was this whole thing of a burn cage that was found at his house that a lot of people felt like was going to be used to dispose of. There's also in the files, there's very creepy footage, eerie, unexplained footage of some kind of burn pit being used, which I'm going to show you here. And again, it just all goes to show you, we don't need an AI summary of this video. I don't know if this is at his property. I don't know if this is, it's not looking like it's property. This is looking like somewhere in the Middle East, to be honest with you. But what is this? Why is this in his files? And what are they doing here? So like, you know, I don't know where this is. Just on the way that people addressed it, looks like it's in the Middle East. They're rolling a bunch of bags into a giant fire pit, right? And there's people everywhere. There's dozens of people all around throwing stuff into the fire now. I don't even want to speculate on what's going on here, but it's super creepy. And this goes on for 2 minutes, all right? Something is definitely up with this. So absolutely no context to this video, all right? We don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're putting out the fire. Maybe this is the method they use to put out this fire. It looks like that's what they're actually trying to do, rather than like burning bags of evidence or anything like that. But then they're not doing a good job of it. They keep throwing stuff on there and it keeps burning. Are they actually going to be able to put it out? I'm not sure they are. But why would he have this in his emails, right? Like, why would he have this in his files? Why would the FBI have this? So now they're covering it. They got some big grate that they're putting over it. That guy's jumping on top of it. That is super dangerous. Saying that. And they're all jumping on top of this at the same time. Is this something that he was sending to people like, yeah, we're going to do this on the island? Like this, it's almost looking like some kind of ritual, the way that everybody's getting on top of it. And I'm not sure that that's safe. Now they're rolling up like some kind of tarp over the whole thing. I don't know if that's going to work. This is actually insane. You see, I don't think they were burning evidence because now it's like they're trying to put the fire out. I wonder if it was something where they were actually using all those things to try and put out this fire that got out of control. I guess they're nearly getting it under control now. They might have put it out. This looks like it's like in a sort of a farm in India or something, or in the Middle East. It's very bizarre, right? Very, very strange. So another file that I want to show you guys that I haven't shown you yet that is quite interesting. Basically, if you might know the famous New Age guru, okay, Deepak Chopra, he was actually heavily featured throughout the newly released media, okay, and he has popped up in this video, okay. I don't know if this is something that, you know, was kind of saved by Jeffrey or whether he was sent it, but check this out. It's just a really short clip of him having an interaction with somebody, right?
What is reality?
Reality is experience and the knowing of experience and consciousness.
You got it.
So I don't know if you could hear that very well. I'll play it again with the volume turned up. But it's Deepak Chopra talking to a kid and basically saying, what is reality? I'll play that again.
Krisha, what is reality?
Reality is experience and the knowing of experience and consciousness.
You got it.
So reality is the experience of knowing experience and consciousness. And what this looks like is, it looks like it's backstage on a film set, right? Because they're basically talking over this director's chair that says Chopra on it. And I wonder if that's something that he was sent, basically. That's something that he had in his files, in his emails that somebody had sent him. But it's super, super creepy. There's another kind of strange recording of like, basically what looks like a guy play fighting with somebody. The person he's play fighting with has been completely redacted. We don't know who they are. We don't know any of the details, but it's like, it looks like they're sort of having like a play boxing match type thing. And it could be a man. It could be like a young man. But it's like, this could be two grown men having a little play fight, and then the dude falls into the pool. Now, I don't know if this is on the island or one of his properties. They're completely redacted. We can't see anything. It doesn't look like a real fight to me. It doesn't look like a genuine fight. He's kind of letting the other person hit him. But they look tall. These look like two tall people. The other person, it could be a skinny grown man, or it could be, a young man. It's definitely, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say straight off the bat that kid, but this is definitely on the right, is an older man. Like, he's gray, he's looking like he's balding, and then he falls into the pool, but they're having this little fake fist fight. And again, it's just another really unsettling thing of just like, what is the context of this? Who's filming it? Is Jeffrey Epstein filming this himself? Why would this be saved? Was this on his phone? Was this on his computer? It just doesn't really make any sense, and it's definitely okay. Now, there was this other video that was going around, okay? Now, I showed you in a previous video, he had a lot of very, very dark clips that were fully redacted, but it looked like he kind of had these like girls around his property that were kind of doing this like very weird sort of like, I don't even know how to say it, like, like, I don't know how to say it sensitively, but like behaving like animals, right? Behaving like dogs, just some very weird behaviors. And, there's another video basically that is like just a very, very creepy video of what looks like in the living room at one of his properties, fully redacted. I mean, this easily could be could be an adult, could be an older woman, but it's definitely woman. It's definitely a female. And just the way that they're behaving is holding something in their hand that like, is it a club? It does look like it's some kind of club or a baton. And they're kind of running at the camera and then running back away. It's not, but it definitely is something that could be used as a weapon. So they're kind of like running towards the camera and then running back. They're laughing. Like, this isn't somebody that's like at least looking like they're upset. They're kind of messing around, but it's like, they're kind of posing around with what looks to be something that could be used as a club or a weapon. Clearly they're not trying to use it, but just the way that this clip plays out is just like very unsettling. And I wonder if it's one of his properties. It's not really a lavish location. This looks like it could just be sort of, I don't know, this could be a kitchen area. But like, I'm not gonna lie, this person, they look like they're kind of having a good time, but then again, you don't know the context of it, right? But they're holding something that definitely looks like it could be like a small club or like a whip. And the way that that ended, it looked like they lifted it above their head, like they were about to swing it at the camera, and then it ends suddenly, right? Now, as I mentioned to you, there were a few animals that were included in the files. We saw videos of him with like different, dogs and puppies at his property. I don't know if that was something that he kind of used to lure people in, whether he was actually an animal lover. Sometimes you hear about these psychopath guys that are just like they got. If if you ever seen The Sopranos, you know that our guy Tony is he'll catch hella bodies, but he's got so much empathy for animals and the ducks and the horses and things like that. Maybe Epstein was the same way. But in this clip, okay, we see a man and a girl basically playing with a dog. And it seems like the dog's trying to do some kind of weird stuff. It's the context of the clip isn't really messed up. Okay. Basically, it's given us an AI summary. It says that the person in the video is told not to pull the dog's hair, but they encourage the dog to wrestle, but they say they don't want the dog to bite.
Don't bite. Don't bite. No, don't bite. What? Her getting you? Okay. Ellie. No.
No.
Quick, turtle, Jackie. Turtle. Turtle. She won't get you anything. Ow! No, your teeth are sharp, dog.
No.
No, don't bite. But be good. Be good. Wrestle. Wrestle. No bite, though. Wrestle. Right. Jump.
I think she ripped some of it off.
Ellie, don't pull her hair.
Saying the dog's kind of biting at her hair.
Oh, there she is. Oh.
Saying don't rip my hair out. But it's not like an uncomfortable. They do seem like they're having fun with the dog. That's definitely not Jeffrey Epstein talking. He doesn't have the same accent, if you ask me. So I don't know who this is. Again, it's not a video of anyone in, peril, but it is unsettling in the context of everything else that we've seen. Now, in another video, this will be a quite bizarre looking video of him kind of dancing behind his desk. And, it kind of is funny, like, this sort of reminds me of some of those videos that we used to see of Diddy back in the day, where you'd see Diddy at his desk, him celebrating deals that he'd made, making deals, making calls. Whoever this is, they're filming him candidly while he's working at his desk doing whatever he did, whatever business that he did. It didn't seem like he actually did. There's not really any successful businesses to show for, is there? This guy that's supposedly a financier, billionaire, very little business acumen, very, very little business achievements. You can't really point to anything he started, anything he got off the ground, any actual genuine commerce that this creep did. But he's at his desk celebrating, clearly doing some kind of work behind his desk. He's dancing. He looks like he's wearing a robe, sat at his computer behind his desk. And it is just kind of like, honestly, to me, it reminds me of those videos that we saw of Diddy. And I think Diddy had those kind of videos put out there to try and make himself look like this big mogul, but also kind of lighthearted, having these little freakouts at his desk. And, as you can see, there's probably music that's playing under this that we can't see, but he's clapping and dancing. He's bopping side to side. For whatever reason, he wanted people to film him this way. He wanted people to depict him this way. There would be other things in here that, they might seem casual at a glance, but when you know the context, they're definitely really unsettling. There would be kind of casual messages like this one, where people would be asking him, how things are on the island. This looks like one of those sort of Apple emoji videos that somebody's made. Look at this.
Hi, checking in from rainy Arizona. How's the island?
Right. How creepy is that? So it's like a woman that's using that Apple emoji feature, where you can turn yourself into a cartoon and record. I've not done this before, but I guess you can record videos of yourself as your little cartoon avatar. And they're saying, hello from rainy Arizona. How is it on the island? Like, who is this?
Hi, checking in from rainy Arizona. How's the island?
How's the island? So whoever this is, whoever these people are in his orbit, they would be sending him little videos asking how it's going on the island, sending their little cartoon avatars to check in with Jeffrey Epstein. It's super creepy. There'd be another kind of disturbing clip of Epstein sitting very closely on the couch with somebody else. I believe pictures of this video have gone around. It looks like a woman. We don't know the context of it. But that's it. There's not really much more to it than that. But he's, it looks like maybe he's on a wicker couch. Maybe that is on the island. You can't really see exactly what's going on, and you can't see the person because they've been redacted. But it obviously is a woman. And again, there were a lot of clips like this that were going around of him having these little weird interactions with people. Like, it's just a 2-second clip, but it's definitely very disturbing. Now, this next clip is very interesting, okay? We would see, I don't know if this was a little bit of light entertainment on the island or at one of the properties, but this clip, we got some of the big hitters in this clip, okay? And the fact that this is in the files is crazy. This video will actually see Bill Gates having a little magic trick done on him by David Blaine. So the level of entertainment going on at these weirdo functions was definitely pretty high. But to have David Blaine on the island, I don't know who this person is in the middle, but I'm sure that this, it's an older man. Looks like he's got a bit of sunburn on him. Probably someone very powerful, being in the room, stood in between David Blaine and Bill Gates. But look at this.
I'll do it again. Hold your hand out. Watch. So watch.
So that's it, right? It's just 3 seconds. But we see David Blaine. He's doing a card trick on Bill Gates. Okay, card trick on Bill Gates, and Bill Gates wants to talk about, he was just there to, talk about philanthropy. Well, he's there chilling with David Blaine having card tricks done on him, looking very relaxed. So I don't know, maybe Bill Gates got a few more questions to answer about some of these magic tricks that he was witnessing on the island. And for all the people, we heard these people trying to defend themselves saying, oh, I was just in the British Virgin Islands with the family. I went over there with the wife and kids. We didn't see anything going on. You bring your wife and kids to the Epstein Island. There is no explanation. There's no explaining that. There's no light business lunch on Jeffrey Epstein's island. It is just not a thing. It's absolutely not okay. Okay. Now we've got more footage. Now this one is actually footage directly captured from a hidden camera, or what appears to be a hidden camera inside of his office. And again, there's been all this talk about he apparently recorded all these interactions with powerful people at his island and in different places. And what's really weird is that, very few of these hidden camera videos have actually surfaced. This is one of very few that have actually gone around. And what's really strange about this is the fact that, it's just a little 10 seconds, right? I don't know if that's himself working. It's kind of a time lapse. It's moving very quickly. Other people kind of come and go and talk to him by the looks of it. But again, it just makes you wonder, where's all this other hidden camera footage? Who has it? Does anyone have it? It sounded like he was somebody that recorded a whole bunch of things going on in his properties. So the fact that we have this definitely indicates that there would be more stuff like this. That, this is clearly the tip of the iceberg when it comes to hidden camera footages. And if you really, really mean to tell me that the only hidden camera footage is a time lapse of him working in his office, well, I've got a bridge to sell you, because that's absolutely, there's no way that that's all that was captured. I think it's ridiculous to even suggest otherwise. So in another kind of heavily redacted video, this is a very creepy one. It's Epstein actually watching somebody basically like dancing. I think this is either in front of his desk or in his office. And what's really creepy about this one is it appears to be that there's actually like a paternity kit on his desk, and this video has gone around a bit in the past. I'm gonna turn off the music, but I'm pretty sure it's like a sort of Hispanic rendition of a Drake song, and he's got people dancing in front of his desk. They're fully redacted. You can't see who they are or exactly what they're doing. If anything, you can just kind of see like the shadows of people, and you can see that like music's being played. You can kind of see maybe some, just like a little bit of just arm sticking out of the side of the redaction. So they're clearly dancing. And people basically have identified that it's a paternity desk that's actually on his desk. He's got other, what looks like painkillers. I don't know if that's Advil there, just off camera. But it seems like the paternity kit is actually almost framed. Like he's propped it up on his desk. It's not just there as an afterthought. It's like he's propped that up and put it in front of this little, thing going on in front of him, right? He wants that there. If you can see that there, it's at the bottom of the frame. He wants people to see that. That's literally a part of the video. So weird, all right? So creepy. So there's also several very kind of disturbing instances in these files where, it seemed like Epstein himself was kind of recording people randomly. He clearly liked recording people. There was reports of him having hidden cameras. But it seems like, he would have, regular cameras, whether it's a camera phone, maybe a digital camera, recording people randomly. And what I often wonder is, like, you've got all these pictures of Bill Gates posing for pictures with women. Got pictures of Bill Clinton there with women, getting massages, getting photographed in a way that it doesn't seem like the camera's hidden. It seems like people are posing for pictures. It seems like Jeffrey Epstein is pulling up, or somebody's pulling up with the camera saying, yeah, let's take a flick, and people are down to do it. That doesn't really make sense, but it seems like everybody that was there was kind of up for this. So he's recording people at his property. I don't know if this is somebody working for him that's kind of cleaning the pool, whether it's a friend. He's got music playing in the background. It's like kind of jazz music. I'm gonna mute the music because I don't want to get in trouble for that. But basically, you just see this redacted person. You don't see who they are. You don't see what type of person they are. I mean, maybe if we're smart, we could see the reflection in the pool water. But it's not entirely clear exactly what they're doing. They're a little bit out of frame here. But you know, it's a figure that looks tall enough to be an adult. It looked like they had kind of like the pool cleaning tool. But again, it's like whoever this is, if it is him, just recording people randomly at the property, just doing day-to-day things, and you know, openly recording in a way that doesn't seem like it's a secret, doesn't seem like they're covering anything up. And you know, maybe people felt like that was something that he did. Is it a broom maybe that they're using or something, or a pool tool? It's not really clear because a lot of it's redacted. But again, these aren't things that make you think, you know, there was some big secret and people would be on the island saying, oh, don't film me, don't take pictures of me. I mean, why is Bill Clinton posing for so many pictures with women on this island? Like, what is that all about? Now, the final thing that I'm going to show you in this video, okay, the release included various FBI tips that had been called in by the public. Now, not all of them were entirely reliable, but a lot of those have been reproduced here. Not just the written testimonies and statements like we saw when people saying, you know, Jay-Z and Pusha T were in the files, but there's also audio recordings of tips that have been phoned in, and you know, we can have a listen to this to understand the types of things that were being phoned in, and you know, to get an understanding of you know, whether there was entirely genuine claims being made at all times.
Hello, Aldridge. I am Tom Cruise's prisoner. I'm laying in bed. I'm trying to go to sleep. He's my father in my mouth. He's ringing my ears with electricity. The royal family have been, Prince Charles, Prince William, Prince Harry, have been listening to this since 2015. I want my life brought into a courtroom. I'm Lisa Marie Presley's prisoner. She's an alcoholic, intravenous drug user, and so is David Edward Stanley Presley.
So, look, all right, this particular call is definitely sounds like the ramblings of a lunatic, but they're basically saying that the royal family have been listening to her. She's been, you know, kept prisoner by famous celebrities. Unfortunately, I feel like things like this have been included to muddy the waters with the genuine claims. I don't think there was for a second that I would have doubted that court testimony that was played earlier. But then when you add things like this into the mix, it kind of does muddy the waters and make it harder to believe certain things when you're hearing such kind of brash claims made. You know, for the record, I didn't believe that Jay-Z was really at Jeffrey Epstein's parties. Those claims, or for example, you know, the other claims where they said Pusha T was, you know, one of the victim's handlers, that was hard to believe. It didn't seem to come with much, you know, genuine facts that would kind of tie to real things that had happened. And this is another one of those examples, unfortunately. But the claims that they are making are very sensational. So we will listen to this in its entirety. But it is interesting that things like this have also been included.
I've had enough of this illegal electricity prison. Donald Trump is corrupt. They voted him in as their president. I want to be brought out into a courtroom over Jeffrey Epstein's murder.
So, you know, look, all right, they start saying all this crazy stuff that doesn't add up. And then they start talking about Donald Trump. They start talking about Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. It's very interesting that this will be included, right?
Donald Trump cannot get another 4 years back in the White House. He is their president. I am from... I have Karen Joel Forster, has President Trump and Melania Trump in him. I have Elvis Presley in me. I'm lactose intolerant. So was Elvis Presley. I want my prison life brought out. Lisa Marie Presley does not let me have a movement. She has threatened to give me a through me bag. I've had enough of this disgusting prison. Tom Cruise is an intravenous drug user. Tanya Peters, Julie Gill from Canela Bar with
That's insane, right? Talking about Tom Cruise, Elvis Presley, Donald Trump. It's insane, right? That's obviously not a credible claim. But again, it's been included in these files just the same as all the other stuff, and it is really bizarre. I'm not giving credence to that, but it does, you know, they have, to be fair, they do have to include everything, I feel like, for the files to be complete and to be released in the way that, you know, arguably would be considered to be complete in a certain way. It does make sense, but at the same time, you know, this kind of stuff doesn't help. And unfortunately, Jeffrey Epstein is no longer alive to face justice. It is fortunate that he's no longer alive because he's a piece of shit. But it would have been so much better for this guy to actually face the music with all of this stuff that's going on. And I think with him actually in the flesh, facing justice, it's just ridiculous what was allowed to happen. I mean, they nearly had him. They nearly got him, right? He had a sweetheart deal in those 2008 charges. That was ridiculous. That was even allowed to happen. He was able to continue just absolute destruction in the community for another 10 years plus after that. And, you know, it's great that he's no longer here, but like it would have been great for him to face justice. And I think now with these files, it has raised even more questions than really given answers. It's definitely given some answers, and some people really aren't happy with some of the answers that have been given. But I think with that last clip, it just makes you realize just how much information there were actually thrown at the wall with this thing. You know, 3 million files, claims about every ridiculous celebrity, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Pusha T, Eminem was included in there. Diddy was even included in there, even though he is definitely an unsavory character himself. But yeah, I feel like we're still just at the tip of the iceberg with this stuff. You know, I believe, as I covered in my video earlier, there was just under 2,000 actual video files released total. You know, I believe there was allegedly 6 million documents. Over 3 million documents have been released. Some have been withheld. And I wonder if we'll ever get the full, entire, completely, maybe not unredacted, because there are reasons that some of these have to be redacted to protect the victims, I think is the most important thing. But this has definitely been a bit of a botched job from start to finish. And it's just so unfortunate that this is the case. So look, I'll be back tomorrow with some more breakdowns of some information related to these files, related to some other things that are going on in the culture right now. But yeah, these were kind of a batch of some of the more disturbing links, images, videos, audio files that I had found. I do think that courtroom testimony was probably the most interesting thing there. I would just love to know what proceedings that was. Was that his most recent proceedings? Was that the 2008 proceedings? It does make you wonder just how much evidence there really was out there, because I think that's the kind of thing where if he was still alive and that kind of testimony was out there, I don't think there would have been any kind of sweetheart deal to be made. So let me know what you guys think of that, man. I will dig deeper into these files. I am curious to dig deeper into some of the things I discussed earlier today. Ghislaine Maxwell's Reddit history is definitely something that I'm going to dig a lot deeper into tomorrow. The fact that she was one of, perhaps even at one point, the most prolific user of Reddit is actually so insane to me. And it does make you wonder whether Reddit was even weaponized at any point during this conspiracy. So I will do a deeper dive into that. I will probably do some deeper diving into some of the cartel stuff that's going on, because I know you guys want to hear about that. And I might cover some more hip hop stuff for you guys if you maybe you're interested in that, maybe you're not. But there's been a few interesting things going on that I do want to talk about. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you found that interesting. You know, I don't want to upset anybody with this content. It's really just a case of, you know, preserving this information so that there can eventually be accountability somewhere along the way. I do think that there is an effort to cover these things up. I do think there's an effort to sweep this under the rug. And I think we've all got to be part of just looking at what's going on, being truthful about what's going on, and holding everybody, at least everybody that's still here, or, you know, even people that aren't here anymore, holding it up to account and making sure this doesn't happen again. So yeah, let me know what you thought of that one, guys. I will be back tomorrow with some more content. Thank you for watching this one. Until next time.